What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and welcome to another episode of The Recap as I catch you up on some of the latest news that you might have missed out on in the entertainment world. Today, we're going to talk about some Star Wars news. We got some Batman news as well. But of course, we have to talk about Chadwick Boseman. And I'll also talk to you about the future of Black Panther and what I think Marvel could do in Black Panther 2. All of that plus more coming up next. Well, unfortunately, I got some bad news to kick off, and that is the fact that The Rock has recently come out and said that his entire family has been tested positive for COVID-19. My gosh, like this pandemic will not go away, and it is just so problematic. I mean, first and foremost, I'm hoping and praying that, The Rock and his family recover and that they're okay, because this stuff, again, it's so frustrating. If you haven't seen already, I just did my first, return to the theaters when I went to go see New Mutants. And yes, I dressed up in a hazmat suit, if you missed that. But at the same time, like, the real serious thing is the fact that this is a real issue. It's something that, unfortunately, is affecting people. There's way too many deaths, in my opinion, due to this. And it's just something that I just hope that we can finally get over. But the fact that it's hitting someone as big as The Rock, no pun intended, but even as famous as The Rock, I just hope that it increases the awareness for people to just kind of take this stuff seriously. Just wear your mask, wash your hands, so we can just get over this and just go back to the theaters. Because when I went back to the theaters, I got to tell you, even though I was doing it for a joke or whatever, I was still nervous. Like, it was still kind of just, you just get that icky feeling of like, I don't know how I would feel if like more people were actually in attendance, because when I went, there weren't that many people around. So I at least had the option to social distance, but even that feels awkward, so I don't know. Have you been back to the theater? If you have been back, let me know what your experience was like going back in, and were you comfortable, and are you still uncomfortable going? Like, let me know in the comments, because I'm kind of interested to see where everybody else is at in terms of like how comfortable they are either going or not going to the theaters. Speaking of which, The Rock was not the only one to be tested positive. The Batman, Robert Pattinson, he also got tested positive for COVID-19. And what ended up happening was they had to stop production for the film. And, that halted things for a little bit. So same way, we're hoping that Robert Pattinson recovers and he's all good and no long-term effects happen with him. But I guess some other positive news is the fact that the Batman has actually resumed shooting and production, except this time they're just going to use his stunt double to shoot the scenes that they can in the meantime. So hopefully, again, all this stuff can just get put back on track. Hopefully everybody is healthy and all right. And we're just going to have to hope and wish that, everything turns out positive. Now, there has been some Star Wars drama that we can definitely get into, and I thought was pretty interesting. Your boy Finn, John Boyega, has come out and he's criticizing Disney for how they handled his character Finn. So here's the quote that he had to say. "But what I would say to Disney is do not bring out a black character, market them to be much more important in a franchise than they are, and then have them pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up. Like, you guys knew what to do with Daisy Ridley, you knew what to do with Adam Driver, you knew what to do with these other people, but when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, F it all. So what do you want me to say? What they want you to say is, I enjoyed being a part of it. It was a great experience. Nah. I'll take that deal when it's a great experience. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest, Daisy knows this, Adam knows this, everybody knows. I'm not exposing anything." All right, so here's the thing. John is not wrong here. I absolutely agree with him on this point. However, I think he used some bad examples. So, here's the thing. First and foremost, there are a lot of people that are out here that are kind of like pushing back on John's, criticisms by saying like, you're not a lead character. You're not so they don't owe you anything. Matter of fact, you even had Michael Rappaport. I don't know why he felt the need to interject himself, but he also started to come in and, voice his opinion in that same sentiment too, to John Boyega, which John had a very good response, in my opinion, which was to be like, no, I'm not going to back down. Like, I'm still going to speak my mind. And I'm totally with that. Now, here's the thing. All right, let's break down what John said and what was good about it and what was kind of missing the mark, right? So the first part is what missed the mark. You can't compare yourself as, a supporting character in Finn with Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver. That's just a bad analogy. And I understand that's why some people are kind of jumping on him, because those were two different types of roles, right? However, even though those are bad examples, I do understand the initial point that John was trying to reiterate, which was the marketing of it all, right? The thing is, John has played supporting characters before, but this is not his issue. His issue is not about, oh man, you didn't make a supporting character as equal as a lead character. That's not his point. His point is the fact that you took my character, who was a supporting character, and you sold him, you marketed him, you pushed him to the public with the appearance, I guess, that this character was going to be more important than you actually made him to be when it came to the writing. And honestly, I'm with them on that, because now I don't know about you, but when I saw John Boyega with the lightsaber during The Force Awakens and everything, I was sitting here getting excited. I was like, yo, there's something to this guy. There's something to his character that, is going to be important. That's not what we got, I mean, for 3 movies. And here's the thing that matters here. You had 3 movies to tell a complete story for a supporting character. And that's not something very difficult to do. I mean, nobody is saying that it had to be as deep as the lead characters, but my goodness, what we were sold about Finn versus what we ended up getting, which was him just running around yelling for Rey all day and then being afraid to tell her that he's Force sensitive. That was it, and then look, Finn's character was a disaster in the first place, but I totally get his frustration with being sent off. We were sent off and misled with Finn's character because of how Disney was promoting it. Now, a lot of that also, in my opinion, has to do with just the terrible writing that came from Rise of Skywalker, because no matter what you saw in Force Awakens, no matter how you feel about Last Jedi, the biggest responsibility is how you wrap everything up, and that is the responsibility of Rise of Skywalker. So I put more of that on them. But either way, I'm on John Boyega's side with this. I didn't like the analogy, but I like where he's coming from. I agree with him that Disney could have done a better job. Either don't promote Finn to be as big as you thought, or you need to tighten up his character and actually deliver, and even with Kelly Marie Tran, I mean, she also was just, her character was just mishandled everywhere, I think. Like, she was emphasized here, then she was cut off there, and there was, of course, the drama with the fans and stuff. The most recent Star Wars movies, as a collective, have been a disappointment. I mean, there was some good things in it, don't get me wrong, but they dropped the ball in a couple places there. So where do you fall on this? Do you agree with John Boyega, or do you think that, he was wrong? Maybe, how do you feel that Finn's character was, portrayed? Do you feel like you were misled? Let me know. Well, hey, so some great news. We finally got a release date for The Mandalorian Season 2, and it is going to be coming out on October 30th on Disney+. That's it. That's all the news for it. That's all I needed to hear. Just let me know when and where, and I am there. Now, moving on. Now's the time where I do want to talk a little bit about Chadwick Boseman. If you had seen my previous videos, it was pretty emotional, at least for me and for other people, for a number of different reasons. I mean, you know, he's a young guy. He was an actor that was like just chock full of a lot of talent and potential. I mean, the sky was the limit for him. And he, you know, also portrayed an iconic, you know, character that really moved a number of people, especially black folks, in terms of playing the role of King T'Challa in Black Panther. So, you know, his passing was definitely something moving. Let's just be completely honest here. When he passed, I know for a lot of people, and I'd be lying if I said it wasn't me too, a lot of people started thinking, well, what are we going to do about Black Panther 2? What's going to happen next? And the difference, though, unlike certain publications like Screen Rant, who hurried up and couldn't wait, you know, they were all thirsty to just run that, you know, article about the next steps for Black Panther 2. And I mean, the man hadn't even passed away for 24 hours yet. So, in my opinion, that was just distasteful. You know, it was just kind of like, come on now, have some decency, you know. And personally, I didn't even want to talk about this subject until after some time has passed, not just for myself, because I needed some time to kind of, you know, just come to grips with all this stuff, but just also in honor of his family, you know. And most recently, the family and other friends and stuff actually had a memorial for Chadwick to honor him. So now that that's happened, I feel a little bit more comfortable being able to speak on this, and, you know, also speak on Black Panther and so on and so forth, just to have a level of respect and decency for him, right? Actually, while I'm here, in honor of Chadwick Boseman, I'm going to be donating all the proceeds of this t-shirt to the Colon Cancer Coalition, who strive to increase awareness, education, and screening for colon cancer. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find that shirt right down below. It's on the scroll in my merchandise. I tried to make it, you know, moderately priced. I think it's like $19.99 or something. But yeah, I'm donating all the proceeds to the Colon Cancer Coalition. Unfortunately, I've seen other people like trying to sell merchandise for Black Panther and like profit off of his death, which I think is just abhorrent and ridiculous. But yeah, if you go ahead and you buy a shirt, all the money is going to go straight to them. Like, I'm not making a single dime off of this. I don't get down like that. So again, one of the most pressing questions is, what do we do about Black Panther 2? What do we do with the future of Black Panther? Now, what I try to do is, first of all, I totally understand. Some people are out there saying like, yo, no more Black Panther. It dies with Chadwick. It's done. That's it. Here's my thing. Reading everything that Chadwick has kind of said, and like, here's the thing. There was even an article that was posted that said within a week of his passing, Chadwick was really trying to gear himself up, and he was dedicated to finishing Black Panther 2 and to start, you know, shooting it and everything. So he really understood the value and the impact of the franchise and the role itself. So I don't think that stopping Black Panther would be something that even Chadwick would want, you know, if he were alive today. So in that case, I do agree with the idea that yes, we should move forward with Black Panther. But now the other question is, well, do we recast him? You know, what do we do? I'm not going to go into who I think should, you know, play the part. I mean, there are a lot of qualified people, but honestly, I'm not emotionally there yet, you know, so I'm not going to go into recasting him yet. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he should never be recast. I think that, you know, we can treat the role of Black Panther no different than we treat the role of James Bond. It can be a mantle, or Batman for that matter. We've had multiple James Bond, we've had multiple Spider-Man, we've had multiple Batman, you know, so it's kind of like, I don't think that this should be any different. Not to mention, like, what Black Panther represents is a lot bigger, I would say, you know, and it is important for that to continue. Now, with that said, there have been other options thrown out there about who should be able to play him within, the already existing characters. Some people have already, thrown out the idea that Killmonger should come back and he should take the role. I'm going to say no to that, only because, I think it's very important to maintain the African heritage of T'Challa, or just the Black Panther themselves. I think it's very important to maintain that African Wakandan nature. Killmonger is African American. And, even though I do think that, yes, Michael B. Jordan would be a good fit to play that and to step into it, I'm sure, if you write it a certain way, it can work. It just wouldn't be my first choice. There's also the precedent that's happened from the comics, which is Shuri would end up taking the role of Black Panther. Now, that is something that, again, it has its comics roots and everything, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe Letitia Wright would be the best fit to play Black Panther. I just don't personally think she can carry that role yet. And I'm saying this, nothing against her personally. I'm just saying in terms of I'm trying to be objective, and I'm trying to look at the bigger picture, and I'm trying to think of Marvel in a world where there is no Captain America, there is no, Iron Man at this point. Thor, yeah, he's there, but maybe he's going to be leaving soon enough or whatever. So what do you do to keep that energy going? And I don't know if Letitia Wright is actually going to be able to bring that, even if she steps in and becomes Black Panther. Now, here's another idea that I haven't heard anyone say, but let me throw this out at you. I kind of think, because Marvel already has the precedent of not sticking exactly to the comics, I don't have a problem with a female Black Panther at all. I would say give it to Nakia. Give it to Lupita to carry that, and I think she would be amazing. I mean, she's got the star power. She's got the presence, I would love for her to take on the mantle of Black Panther, because I really think that she could do it. I mean, she's already kind of got the abilities. She's got everything. She's a total package. So if it were me, I would probably go along the lines with Nikita as the new Black Panther. And again, the writing, you can write almost anything at this point. Matter of fact, I might even do a theory video down the line, just kind of showing how that would all work, But either way, those are my thoughts on the future of Black Panther moving forward. I'm very curious. What do you think about Marvel moving forward with Black Panther? Who do you think should become the new Black Panther? Should they recast T'Challa? Do you think they should pass the mantle down? Let me know where you stand on the issue in the comments down below. I'll be very interested to know what you all think about it. Anyway, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my video. Of course, I always appreciate it. In the meantime, I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all. And until next time, I'll see you all later.